Megan Fenyo presents I Am Enough TV. Be your best self. Awaken the power within you. Transform your life completely through the power of ultimately believing you are enough. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode on I Am Enough TV. I am your host, Megan Fenyo, and I am super excited to have the beautiful Alicia Couri, who is the Red Carpet CEO. I know I probably botched your last name. I know I was practicing before, but hey, but we don't edit this show because it's all about being authentic and real. So I'm so excited to have you with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Alicia.
It is my honor, Megan, to be here. And Couri is,
Couri.
I know you added an extra
Couri.
accent on the E. I don't have an E at the end of my name. It's okay.
I know everyone messes up Fenyo too, and it's, you just got to roll with it. So it's
just
cool.
roll.
Thank
That's
you.
what I do. I just roll. It doesn't matter to me. Just roll.
That's why I love you, girl. So super excited to have you here. We always ask the first question, which is, what does it mean for you to be enough?
For me, I had struggled a lot with my own self-worth, my own self-image, my own concept of beauty. So I never felt like I was enough. I was, short as well.
Hey now. I think you were on the Blonde Bombshell podcast. And I remember when you said that, and I was like, hey, girl, you've seen me in person.
I know.
All 4'10" of me. But yes,
Right.
you are the most adorable little person. And that's why I love you, because we're like the same height.
We're sisters that way.
Yes,
so for me to be enough, it started first with me even just appreciating my own beauty. That for me to be able to say I am beautiful, that was like the first step. And once I was able to really believe in my own beauty, then I started to recognize my talents and my worth and my value and all those other things. So for me, it started with recognizing and really embracing my own beauty as being enough.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because we don't realize as children and even young adults how much our thoughts and what we think about ourselves impacts us in adulthood, right? And,
yes.
and we start creating those limiting self-beliefs and those negative thoughts about ourselves in childhood. And I know you have an incredible story. Let's share first, just real quick, because it's only a 22-minute show.
I know.
It goes really fast. But let's just share a little bit more about how we met and give you some props for your amazing title of your amazing win. But take it away. Let's just do it real quick so everyone kind of knows how we know each other, and then we'll jump into the good stuff.
Okay, the 30-second version of that is last November, we were both in a pageant. First time in a pageant.
Me too.
First time in the Women of Achievement pageant in California, in Long Beach, California. And I was a delegate from Florida, the Mrs. Elite category. And that's where we met. We met and we hit it off right away. You have the I Am Enough movement. My platform was Audacious Confidence. So there was a lot of synergy there. And both of us were little teeny tiny and just, little munchkins there.
But we were a force to be reckoned with.
We were.
Because
we still were.
You walked away with Miss Elite US Women of Achievement, which was amazing. Yay. And I walked away with the platform award for the I'm Enough movement, which was amazing. It was such an honor. So that is how we met, not even a year ago. And you've been very instrumental to me and helping me out.
When it clicks, it clicks.
I know,
when
right? It's just, you're phenomenal, and you've got your hands in so many different things. But let's take a few minutes for you to share your story with our viewers so that they can get to know you a little bit better, and how you moved from some of your struggles into your strength, into your audacious confidence.
Yes. So I talked about my beauty not being enough. I grew up in the 70s, way back in the 70s.
I know, right? Whoa.
Yeah, way back then in Australia. I was born in Trinidad, but I grew up in Australia. And so I was surrounded by people and a culture that was unfamiliar to me, first of all. And so I did not see reflected back to me my own beauty. So I didn't see anyone reflecting what I look like and celebrating that as being beautiful. Instead, I had a lot of questions about, why is your hair so kinky? Why is your skin so dark? Why is, so, and it's not it was just out of ignorance. Kids were asking because they had never seen Black people before. Mm-hmm. I was in a whole school that went from pre-kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So that's a lot of students. It was a university city. So there were a lot of kids there. And my sister, myself, and one other person were the only people of color in like dark color in the whole school. And so, there were questions, there were stares, so I developed this kind of shell around me that I was not beautiful. Mm-hmm. I also shut down my voice because I had a thick Trinidadian accent and not an Aussie accent. So I also shut down my voice because I didn't want to be mocked for the way I spoke until I can adopt an Australian accent. So, and that did carry me through not just my childhood, but into adulthood, because all those things were buried in my subconscious that I didn't even realize were there. And it prevented me from stepping out, from speaking up, from being in front of the camera. I always felt like I was meant to be behind the scenes. I would do all the work behind the scenes. I didn't want recognition for anything. I didn't want people to call me up for anything. Let me just stay behind and do all the work. And I didn't mind. And I thought that was fine. But I always had this yearning inside of me that I could do more and I need to do more. And maybe I should be in front of the camera, but I don't belong there. So that was the limiting beliefs that I had.
Yeah. And going back to kind of what we said at the beginning, is that started creating when you were a child. Like I remember with me when I have an 8th grade reading level and an 8th grade math level, and my guidance counselor in high school told me never to go to college because I was never going to graduate college. Right. And like little did I know that was that limiting belief that I'm not good enough had already started then. And it's so powerful. The negative things that we say and how truly it does shape our lives. So how did you get to move past those limiting self-beliefs to kind of like what I like to say, step into your greatness? Like what did that look like for you?
First, it came with awareness. Awareness had to come first. And the only way I was able to gain awareness was from coaching. I had hired a business coach to help me develop my personal brand. At the time, I had a company doing hair and makeup for special events. So I would go to weddings and red carpet events. I would go to my clients and I would do hair and makeup, and I would bring a team with me sometimes, or it would just be me. But I wanted that business to grow. And again, the business was in the forefront. It was in the forefront of my mind. It was AC Beauty. I had a logo. Everything was pretty. Everything was sterile, very sterilized, very pretty. And I wanted to build this brand for it. And I went to my mistake. Instead of going to a corporate brander, I went to a personal brander who started asking me about myself and telling me that you are the brand, not this thing that you've all pretty created over here. You are the brand. And I'm like, no, I have to be behind the scenes. The brand is in front. I need to be behind. And through that whole process, it was 2 years of coaching with her. And she like ripped things out of me that I didn't even know were there. And that's kind of how it happened. It would not have happened if I didn't invest in coaching.
Yeah.
And, it's serendipitous because I did not go for that, but that's what I ended up getting. And now I do help people build personal brands. So it's all for full circle.
I love that you talked about hiring a coach. My brother was actually on the show a couple episodes ago, and we talked about the importance of a therapist, right? And I'm a mental health therapist. And when I was going through my trauma, I had to go to therapy to get
Right.
through that trauma and to really rediscover who I truly was now that I had moved past that trauma and getting over those limiting beliefs. And
it's so important.
it is. And just like you said, like your coach, like you wouldn't have figured out these things about yourself. And even though
we have blind spots.
We do. And even
we have
me
these gigantic blind spots that we don't see ourselves, the way others can see us.
Yeah. And we think so many things. I was just talking to one of my clients today about cognitive distortions and mind reading and how we think that people think something about us when in fact, like they don't. And we are just like over analyzing and like freaking out when in
not
fact,
even thinking about us at
all.
all.
Thinking about us. And it's
I had that happen to me. I had that happen to me where someone came up to me and said, "My husband thinks you don't like him." I said, "Why?" He's like, I was at church one day and he's like, because we got up and we left early one day and he said, "You gave him a look." I said, "I honestly wasn't even looking at him." Yeah. I was not even paying attention to it. I didn't even see when you guys left.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because it happens so often, especially like in intimate relationships. And that is where that mindset comes. Like we are so worried about what other people think about us. That leads us to believe that we're not good enough and to lack self-confidence when in fact, 9 times out of 10, the other person that you're worried about isn't even thinking about you. Like,
but too, in high school, that's a really, really big thing for high school. I remember when I was in high school, there were these little cliques and I was never really a part of a clique. But there were these cliques and every time I would walk by, they would like whisper and giggle and stuff. And that could really, hurt your self-esteem when that happens. And what I grew to realize after a while is that it's jealousy. They were knocking on me because there were certain people that did want to know me, did want to hang out with me. And they were just upset about that. It had nothing really to do with me because they didn't know me.
Exactly.
They didn't know me. So for them to whisper about me, they didn't really know me, but it still bothers you. So I would always say, especially if anyone younger is reading this and you have a situation like that happen, realize they don't know you. So even if they're speaking about you, it's none of your business. It's none of your business what they're saying because they don't know you. And stick with people who do know you, love you, and support you. And don't listen to people who don't know you at all.
Exactly. Because it's more about them than it is about you. It's all about them.
It's all about them and their insecurities. And just because you are strong and beautiful, they can't handle it.
Right. And like, that's one of the things that I love to ask in this show too, is like, if you had to go back, what would you tell your former self? Like growing up, like what would be a lesson that you would want to tell your former self to know or to learn? And I think that that's kind of it, right? Like who cares what other people think? Because it's really not about you. It's all about their insecurities.
And it's not that serious, school. And I have children now who one is in college, one's in high school, and the other one's in middle school. And so many things happen at that age that you think it's the end of the world or it's so important.
Yeah.
You have so much more life ahead of you, that a moment in time, even though sometimes it's as devastating as it feels or as difficult as it is in that moment, there is more to come with life. So that moment, don't allow that moment to get a foothold into your confidence, into who you believe you can be. I had a teacher not want me to do her class because she said, "I don't want you in my class because, my older sister was brilliant. I was a troublemaker. So she didn't want me in her class."
You, a troublemaker, girlfriend? Come on now.
That's what they said. That's what they think. I was just expressive and, I was creative. They didn't know how to handle my creativity.
Right.
So she didn't want me in her class. And, you know, I thought that was the end of the world because I wanted to go into law or psychology and I needed that class. And I thought, now my life is over because now what am I going to do? I can't go into law or psychology because this one teacher made a decision that has ruined the rest of my life. Well, you know what? My life didn't turn out too bad after all.
I know.
Yeah, I
Your
didn't
life
get a
is
law
pretty
degree.
amazing.
But you know, the thing is if someone tells you no, which I did not know at the time. So now you're asking what I would do, what I would tell myself, you know, my former self is, if someone tells you no, ask someone else.
I love that.
Find
I
out
should
the
have asked my
truth from
guidance
someone
counselor that.
else.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need her class to get a law degree. I didn't need her class for psychology. That was the information I had at the time. If I had done some research, and back then they didn't have the internet, now they do, Google some stuff, you know, find out some more stuff.
Yeah.
Ask some more people. Don't take the opinion of one person, especially if they're telling you no, you can't.
I love that because I think back to like when my guidance counselor told me that, and my parents were very supportive of me, and they're like, because they were in the room with me, and they're like, you can do this, like you're gonna do it. And although I had that thought of like I'm not good enough, that I was kind of like the one person where used that thought of not being good enough to motivate me to say, screw you,
I'm gonna
watch
show
me
you
do
anyway.
this, and I did it. And
yes.
you know, and yeah, and even as an adult though, we all struggle with confidence at times. You know, I'm known as the I am enough girl, but there's days that I really struggle with that. So share with us.
We had that at the pageant too.
Oh my gosh, we did. Oh, that's right. Call me out on that one. Seriously. Okay, we only have like 5 more minutes. I'm going to make this quick. But so I had a moment where I had to walk with the tallest
girl in the whole pageant.
And she was blonde and she was super tall, and I had to walk next to her, and I was freaking out. And I remember telling you, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get over this. I'm the I'm enough girl, like blah, 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 right? And you so graciously gave me your shoes because they were a little bit taller, but
like 4-inch platforms.
4-inch platforms. But again, there I was. And who cares if I was the shortest?
And I said, you look great. You look beautiful. Stand up strong and confident and rock that stage, girl. Nobody will care.
And I just appreciated you because I had to like hit myself and be like, Megan, what are you doing? But
we have those moments.
We do. And we have those moments, and those moments are okay if you combat those negative thoughts.
You have to like recognize it. You have to start being aware. You know, what are those triggers? What are those things that put you back into that space? And as soon as you start that self-talk, you have to pull yourself. You have to start being aware of yourself and not let it spiral.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. What do you do on those days when you're not feeling in full confidence and being enough?
So I have my 7 secrets to audacious confidence. And so I whip those out. I whip out one of those tools if I need to. So can I go through them really quickly?
Very quickly. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes, of course. So I want you to go through them.
Number 1 is to know yourself and love yourself. So when you know yourself and love yourself, you're able to shift really quickly if that starts happening. Number 2 is preparation. So if you're going into something and you start feeling unsure, unconfident, make sure you're prepared for that situation. Number 3 is your passion and purpose. If you understand what your passion is spreading the I am enough movement, you know, worldwide. Yeah. So when you have a passion, it doesn't matter what anybody says, you're going to go for it. Number 4 is your tags, your talents, your assets, your gifts, and your skills. If you know what those things are, you can always pull one of those out of your bag when you need them. Number 5 is resistances. What am I resisting? When you start feeling I am not enough or I don't have confidence to do that, sometimes there's a fear involved. You're resisting something. Ask yourself, what am I resisting? Am I running to something or running away from something? Where's my resistances? Number 6 is the alter ego effect, which is one of my favorite tools forever, ever, because my alter ego was the beauty queen and I embodied it. I became the beauty queen. So number 6 is, the alter ego. So create for yourself an alter ego that you can step into it when you don't feel confident in a situation, step into your alter ego and let them take over for a little bit. And the seventh one and the final one is know when to say no and when to say yes. Because sometimes we say yes to things we should really be saying no to, especially if it's peer pressure or if it doesn't serve you. And learn to say yes to things that scare you. And that's my 7 things. So sometimes when I'm faced with that, I look at where it's happening and then pull the tool I need to get me over the hump.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So I know you just launched a brand new show as well, Audacious Confidence, and I'm going to be a guest on that show.
Yes, you are.
So share with everyone where they can check out your show, where they can get more info on these amazing 7 steps, and just how to reach out to you.
Okay, so you can download the 7 steps on my website, which is aliciacouri.com, ALICIACOURI.com. And for anything else you want to know about me, my social media, everything, you can go to Alicia, ALICIA 360.com. Alicia360.com. You can find out about Dramaniac TV, the Audacious Confidence Show. It's all listed on the website there. If you go on the website link, plus my books, you can contact me on that. You can book a time on my calendar on that. It's a hub that you can find all my social media, connect with me on all social media platforms. Just go to Alicia360.com and you'll find out everything there is to know about me right there.
And there is so much more to know about this girl. I'm definitely going to have you back on the show down the road because we always have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
We only have a few seconds left. So I need to ask you the last question. What is your favorite mantra or affirmation?
So there are 2 things I really love. And one is to be the best version of yourself. And, I say that for me, my mission is to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain people so they can step into their own audacious confidence to do more, be more, have more, and live the life of their dreams without limits. So that's what I do. So when I feel down and I don't want to do something, I repeat that to myself because that's my mission and that's what I'm off to do.
Oh my gosh, girl. I love it. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. I love you and your support has been awesome.
I love you too. And anything I can do for the I Am Enough movement, I'm there.
Thank you. So I always like to end the show with my favorite quote, which is, you are enough just as you are, regardless of whatever season you're in. And the more you focus and celebrate on that, the more you will live in your strength. I Am Enough TV airs every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on easyway.tv, or you can find all of these amazing episodes on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV by searching Easy Way TV Network. Be sure to head over to my website, meganfenyo.com, grab some free resources, and be sure to order your free I Am Enough cards. Learn about how you can get involved in the international I Am Enough movement nonprofit. Mm-hmm. So much great stuff on that website. And it's all free, you guys. So take advantage of it.
Take advantage.
So thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, remember, in everything you do, be bold, be brave, be unapologetically you, because you are enough.